Let's start the podcast.
I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
What the hell's going on out here?
We're still paying $24 for a buffalo chicken salad. Outrageous, sir.
And they keep using the Marriott name brand because when they assumed all these other hotels,
Right.
less desirable.
And then Bonvoy, whatever that
No,
is.
the airport, yeah,
I don't know.
Bonvoy.
I
But
don't
the
know what this
airport,
shit is.
it says, look for the shuttle that says Marriott, Courtyard Marriott, not the other Marriott or the other Marriott. It's a
Right.
white van. So every time a white van comes in, you keep looking and it's like, you walk to it, oh, it's not it. It's a Marriott.
And in
something else.
Miami, it's nothing but those vans, and they're all
Yeah.
white. And this one was, I got to tell you the beginning of this. But by the way, we're 2 L's, 1 pod. I'm Al Romas. I'm in Miami in a hotel in a Marriott as we speak. That's Al Ducharme. He's on a celebrity ship sailing somewhere. Where are you, sir?
I'm looking out my window. We're at sea and we're on our way to St. Martin. We'll arrive Monday morning and I will depart the ship and head back home to Los Angeles for 6 days before heading back out in the high seas.
But, so this is one of those nice little 3-day or so extravaganza. Get on 3 days, get a check, go home. Sweet.
That one, no, actually, the previous one before I went to Aruba was similar to that. They fly me on mid-cruise and I do 3 days and then I stay on for 4 more days and they get me for a full week and they're getting 2 cruises. This is kind of a ripoff. The opposite of what you just said.
This is the one we don't like. This is the one we don't like. Yes.
But I do have a comedy club. I'm on the Allure with Rick D'Elia, but we've been cut down to 4 days from 7 because of it's been chartered. A private company came in and chartered it.
Nice.
They're giving us the heave-ho for a full paycheck. So it makes up for it. Oh, I lost you. There you are.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh.
I think when you unplugged it, it stayed in the other setting, the mute.
It muted it. Yeah. I wonder why this mic is horseshit. Can you hear me though? Am I able to?
I can hear you, but you sound, you don't have your nice mic sound. You have like you're talking on your cell phone sound.
Yeah.
You sound very unprofessional.
It just cut out. I knew it. I thought something was wrong when I said the earbud, and I think that was like a warning. It was like,
Do you have a backup earbuds and wires like your buddy Al told you to take with you? So when this happens, which has happened like 3 or 4 times over 3 or 4 years, but it happens once a year. It happens,
right. Well, I have it, but I do. But the mic is the one that died, not the earbuds.
Did you bring a little charger block for your phone or just a wire?
Oh, I have a little charger block.
Yeah, I know you do. Where'd you get it? You're borrowing it from somebody because you didn't bring your little charger block. There it is. Who'd you borrow that from? Stage manager?
Young Andrew, the assistant cruise director on Princess Cruise Lines, which I meant to return. I just forgot during the day yesterday getting off that thing. But
wait a minute, you stole his charger? Wait, you left Princess and you took his charger with you?
Well, I forgot his charger. I didn't. I did take it. Yes, but I meant to return.
You meant to return it. Did you message him?
Morning.
Message him.
I had to do the morning meeting thing and the customs.
It's awful. To tell me about
and
it.
And then walk a half a mile in Cozumel with my bag through the in the heat. I haven't done that shit in a long time, man. And
you're not used to it.
By the way, let's just go back a little. I flew to Ocho Rios on Tuesday and stayed at the Deja Resort, DEJA Resort. And we pulled up to it, and the guy's like, Deja Resort. I literally was like, this is where I'm staying? This is the resort? And there was nothing telling you resort. It was just an old stone building.
It was a last resort.
Last resort. No shit. Last resort before suicide. It was a dump, a flea bag.
You got to let them know. You have to let
the
travel department and your agent know, because entertainers that don't complain about the accommodations, let it go. They're like, fuck it. I want to get my calendar full. I want to get this over with and go home. it's a disservice to yourself and everybody around you, because if more than one entertainer says, "Hey, this place is a flea bag," they will change it. They'll change it. I've only had to complain twice in my cruise traveling career, and it resonated. Terrible. And when I went back for the same company, I had a very nice setup.
Yeah, this should not have been. I think it was, like you said, the port agent, that whole thing. It should not have been a place where we stay. But I was there. I got there at like 3 in the afternoon, check out in the morning, 8 a.m. pickup. So I was like, all right, I'll deal with this. But it was just, they give you the wristband. It was all inclusive. That's the resort. So I get this shitty wristband, and I go to look at the buffet, and that was where the only place you can eat is the buffet. And it's just wet meat in pans and pasta. That's it.
Wet meat in pans and pasta. We'll be back after this.
That's my name of my new special. Wet meat and pasta. But terrible place. Not a safe feeling, having a cigar on the rooftop, and a lot of questionable characters lingering around. I'm just kind of looking at my phone, smoking my cigar, like, okay, don't fucking, don't rape me, don't kill me, but just let me finish this. I'll be out of your way.
Where you and I differ about the rape.
Well, that's true. Actually, we differ on the raping and the killing, I think. Hey, little housekeeping to do. We have a new Patreon member. I'd like to announce Brian Nussbaum.
Brian Nussbaum. Welcome, Brian.
Has joined us on our Patreon. We welcome Brian. Remember Nussbaum? Can you remember a classic 80s comedy with the word Nussbaum? The name Nussbaum. It hit me once I saw the name. I was like, oh, yes.
Is it a character?
It's a classic 80s comedy, but the character, the star of the movie, he calls these people the Nussbaums.
Nope.
It's tough. It's a tough one.
All right. Well, spill the beans.
Steve Martin, the jerk, when those three like Mexican guys pull into the gas station and they got the stolen credit card. It's Mrs. Nussbaum's credit card. So they're like, put some radials on that bitch. Fill that up.
Right.
Goes, you got it, Mr. Nussbaum. Yeah.
I thought you said it was an 80s sitcom. Did I have to listen to this again? 80s movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Steve Martin, the jerk, came out on my birthday. I saw it 8 times in the theater on my birthday. But Brian Nussbaum, welcome to our Patreon. And also want to mention my niece Olivia's birthday this week.
Happy birthday to Olivia. I was trying to make a connection here. She likes to smoke cigars too.
She does.
I have a Oliva cigar.
Okay. Yeah.
On her birthday, I'll be enjoying this after the podcast.
Very good.
Nice Robusto.
She'll be 21. Legal.
Wow. Wait a minute. I've had adult beverages with her 2 years ago.
Oh, you? When? What?
Well, you were there.
How did that happen?
You were chaperoning.
The fuck you doing? Drinking with my niece.
No, we were out at a restaurant, and she carries herself very maturely. Yes. So she doesn't look like she didn't look like she was underage. No, yeah, she had that phony for at least a couple of years. So, but anyway, her birthday. She was with those 2 old guys.
21, and then her sister will be her birthday the next week.
She'll be 24.
Hannah, she'll be
23.
23.
Yeah.
23. Yeah. Hard to believe. Wow. Man, amazing. But that's next week. And I gotta tell you, so I get to the ship. I hadn't done anything but Royal in a while now, so I'm doing
my joke. I wanted to get my joke in there. No, I was going to say your niece is turning 21 and 23. I mean, it seems like only yesterday that they were wearing diapers and you were throwing them in the deep end of the pool.
There you go. Yes. Here's the clip right here.
All
It
right.
does. It's like I don't have kids, but with them, it like when people say it goes by blink of an eye and all that, it really. I mean, that
Oh, yeah.
does seem like a few years ago that she was about 6, and I'm tossing her in the pool, and now 21. So it does go pretty goddamn quick.
Yeah, and then when you were tossing her in the pool now, the security comes running over and she has to explain, no, it's my uncle. He won't let go of the past.
Yeah. Well, that's a weird thing because when you're there, you have nieces.
I'm on
and you
fire.
Have, like if
I'm
you go
on
out
fire over here.
but you have it. You have this connection's a little weird. You're like I think you're a few seconds. There's a 1 or 2 second delay in the video. I don't know about the audio, but the video it's a little. You know what I mean?
That's what Bernadette says about our sex life. I have a 1 or 2 second delay, and
then there it is. But Brian Nussbaum's checking it out for the first time, so
that's
we'll
right.
clean it up a little, Brian.
Yeah.
It'll be a little cleaner next time, Brian. Don't worry about it. What was I saying? So I get to this princess ship, and I have 3 shows on the first night, and then you're done. So I do 3 half-hour, originally titled adult. They're not adult shows. These are family friendly. Yeah. Not many kids on the ship because it's an old ship and old people. But anyway, I get there. They have to do a sound check, and I go, hey, nice to meet you. And the guy goes, good to meet you, AJ. I go, AJ.
You and AJ Jamal get confused all the time.
Yes.
Now you're Caucasian and he's African American, and I can see why that would happen. So
I go AJ, and they go, yeah. I go, no. I go, God damn. I go, my name has 2 letters, and you screwed it up. It's Al. What are we doing here? And then he goes, oh. And then he goes, well, we have the sign over there. And I look over, it says AJ Ramos.
Oh.
AJ Ramos.
Not ALAJ.
You missed on both. One has 2 letters, one has 5, and you missed both.
Like, I'm sorry. Ramos
what are we doing? Yeah. What are we doing here? I mean, the Ramos I've had because of the L and the A, and Ramos is a popular name, but AJ? So he goes, we'll get that corrected. I'm like, yeah, okay. Whatever.
Well, here you go. This is the Celebrity Beyond. It's one of the flagships. There's 3 of them in this class, maybe 4 by now.
4 flagships?
Well, the class, this class came out. It was their flagship, and then they replicated it 3 more times. So, does that make sense?
Yeah.
No?
Well, the newest, biggest, I think, usually be the flagship.
Well, what I'm saying is this was the class that put them in a different area as far as the cruise industry.
Okay.
So they replicated it. But anyways, this particular one is gorgeous, and they grab a bio from me online somewhere. Now, I've already sent my stuff in, and they've been getting it correct on other ships, but they grab this thing from 15, 20 years ago, some bio. And then they have a guest speaker's picture with my name at the entrance to the theater. Some guy with a headset who's like 15 years older than me, standing like this with the headset on, with a jacket, a tweed jacket, giving a speech about World War II ships. And then my name is come see the stand-up comedy of Al Ducharme. Yes, I think I would too. I mean, to take the night off and watch him.
Nothing against you, but I would like.
No, I told, dude, why you would never? That would be awesome. Never take a dig at me. Holy shit! Why would you do that?
No. But I would like to hear about World War II ships. That would be kind of interesting.
Yes,
not bad.
Well,
yep. But that's it just shows you the amount of care and consideration as we board, these ships. It's like I'm standing outside in the sun for a half hour waiting because my name's not on the list, which we all know it's never on the list. But it just made me like, man, I told you, I respect you and what you guys go through still, because I'm lucky right now. I'm just renting a car to Miami, getting on a ship. It's easy. But that flying and the Fleabag Hotel and the waiting outside in the sun and walking, it's a grind, man. And then do 3 shows that night. They only were a half-hour shows each. I was fucking exhausted by the whole process of everything. I was
It doesn't get easier as we get older either. And we complained about it. We say, hey, you know, da, 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 da. And they go, yeah, this is the schedule. This is what it is. Now, here's my situation. So I joined the ship mid-cruise. I have a late night show the night before the last cruise day, and then this turnaround day the next time. Because I joined this cruise mid-cruise, I have to be off the ship first. So they asked me to report to the documentation officer to go through immigration at 6:30 in the morning. So I set my alarm for 6:05. Sure enough, I have a forward cabin and the bow thrust. Yeah, 6:05 for a 6:30 meeting. 25 minutes. Okay. Is that enough?
No, I like how different we are. I'm 6:25 alarm.
Yeah, well, you're a Navy boy. I took melatonin. I'm like, oh, groggy, man.
Melatonin.
But I have a forward cabin, so I have the bow thrusters going off at 5 a.m.
Yep.
And my cabin is shaking. So now I'm up an hour and 5 minutes prior to my alarm going off. I can't sleep. This thing went on for 45 minutes. And then it's finally smooth sailing, and I got to get up. So I get up, I turn my alarm off. I go down there at 6:30. Sure enough, there's a couple of other entertainers that are not there. They show up 20, 25 minutes late.
Yep.
We sail. We're not even stopped. We sail for another 45 minutes before we get to the port.
Oh,
then they got to throw the lines. An hour and 20 minutes. And they make us all get up, and we follow them. Then they can't get the ramp to work to get us off the ship. 15 minutes. Then they go, take them around to the other side. We go back into the ship. We go through the art gallery, the dining room. We come all the way back around.
Unset.
And then an officer starts yelling, what are you doing? They can't come here. Those are the downliners. They said, no, the ramp's not working. We got to put them through first.
It's never happened before. They've never seen the downliners.
It's unbelievable. They do it twice a week. They do it twice a week.
It is unbelievable, their incompetence. That's unbelievable. The fact that it happens isn't unbelievable. Their incompetence is so unbelievable in that situation. I know entertainers who used to just stay in bed till they called them. They would just stay in bed and they go, you have to be down here now. And then he would take 10 minutes and go down.
The last time this happened about a month ago, I set my alarm. That motherfucker called me a half hour before my alarm went off.
No, fuck this.
So now what I normally do is I unplug my phone. I didn't do it that time.
No.
Amateur.
You unplug. Oh, yeah, the phone. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, got to unplug that room phone. You think it's hard to even think about because we don't use landline type things.
Right.
But that phone has to be disconnected. That's the worst part. Like, there's a lot of good parts of cruising and comedy and working, but that to me is the worst one. That downliner day, getting up, being in the dining room, and then waiting endlessly, and you never know how long it's going to take. There's no rhyme or reason to it. That's the toughest part, especially when you have shows the night before. Sometimes
I had 2 shows
or 11.
So after this, now in Fort Lauderdale, when you do the downliner on this particular line, you're not allowed back on the ship until 11 a.m. So So from 6:05, my alarm was going to go off. I actually woke up at 5:30 or 5 o'clock rather, because of the bow thrusters. I'm homeless until 11 a.m. And if you come back on the ship at 11 a.m., that's when 2,800 passengers are trying to get on. So I avoid that. So I head on out. I go to my diners. I do my store runs, my Walgreens. I get all my shit together. I have my backpack. And I walked each way. So yesterday I walked a total between everything, 9 miles.
Whoa, damn.
9 miles, and I had 2
And he
shows
doesn't
that
do it
night.
for his health. He's just too cheap to get an Uber.
Well, that, and I want to get my steps in. I want to get my 10,000. But I definitely, I got like 15,000, 16,000 steps in yesterday.
Damn, that's good. That's actually very good. It is annoying as hell. You don't go to Lester's. You go to the Joe's Cafe.
Well,
Right? Is
Lester's,
it
you got to
Joe's?
pay. I go to Joe's Cafe,
Yeah, you
which
gotta
is
pay to go to Lester's.
1.6 miles. So if you
Okay.
do it round trip, it's 3.2.
Right.
But I'm also walking to other stores because I'm killing time. I'm killing hours. And I took a nap in the afternoon. I woke up. I had a green tea to get a little caffeine going. I did my 2 shows, and then after them, I'm wired.
You're wired. Yeah, the adrenaline
And the green tea.
with that green tea, you're out of control, dude. You're hitting
And then I
green
took.
tea.
Well, then
You're nuts.
counteract. I take the melatonin.
3
that's why
milligram, dude. That wouldn't put a fucking cockroach to sleep. 3 milligrams of
Well, let me tell you something
melatonin.
right now. I cut it in half. I'm taking 1.5 milligrams, and I'm out. I'm
Jesus
out.
Christ. You're like a 98-year-old woman. Who
I'm out.
I need 50 milligrams of THC gummies to sleep.
Yeah,
You're doing
but your
quarter
body
of-
has is become adjusted to it. I
Hard.
don't take melatonin every night. I just take it once in a while. I need 1.5 milligrams just to get me into the sleep
oh my.
direction, and then I'm good.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to do melatonin religiously, and I got to
Yeah,
the
but
point
you
I
were
couldn't-
doing
didn't
10
help.
milligrams, 15 milligrams.
I was doing more than that. Didn't help. Didn't work.
Some
I
people.
need drugs, baby.
I have. Now, here's the thing. If I take melatonin for several days or weeks, then my body just adjusts to it and it wants more. It's not an addiction. It's just I need more for it to be effective. So what I do is intermittently, I'll take 1.5 milligrams every few days, every couple of weeks sometimes,
Okay.
if I'm having trouble sleeping. And another thing
Let me run.
I have the white noise app on my phone.
Yeah.
So I put it right by the bed. It goes, blocks out all the noise in the background.
I have the noise app, and it's just black people just fucking talking like at a movie. I find that comforting. Girl, don't go in that room, child. I go, that puts me to sleep. We got a clip.
This podcast is being canceled effective immediately.
We just lost Brian.
Nussbaum failed. I can't. As Kelly would say, I can't. It's every say things or do things. She's like, I can't. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I can't. Hey, let me run this by you. Yesterday, I land Miami Airport. By the way, folks, and I don't want to give out too many secrets here, but global entry is the fucking bomb. Except no substitutes. There's no line. Nobody has the global entry app. Nobody does it. There's no line. Literally, there were lines.
Are you new to it? Because I've had it for, I don't know, 8 years since it came out.
I've had it forever. I haven't had to use it in the last couple of years.
Oh, right.
So I was excited.
It's amazing how many. Now, there's other alternatives. There's a mobile passport, and then there's even another app now. And there's now 3 lines that has either nobody or just a handful of people. And then all of a sudden, the other line where people really don't travel much, they have hundreds of people in line. It takes them 45 minutes to get through. And we just go.
It was incredible. The guy was just sitting alone, nobody there. I just go up, in and out. And the lines were wrapped around for what the normal.
Oh, Miami's the worst, too.
It is the worst. Yeah. So I finished that. I get my bag. You got to not recheck. I'm staying in Miami. So I go down to luggage. I get my bag. I've been through customs. It's all good. I'm walking out of the airport. Oh, here's the door, 100 feet from me. I got my hat on. I got sunglasses on, prescription, indoors. I'm not a douchebag. And I got my phone, and I'm on the phone listening to the hotel tell me where the shuttle will be to pick up to the hotel. Okay, good. Walking. All of a sudden, a fucking, customs guy in basically a cop uniform, but he's customs. He's waving, and I see him, but I didn't know, thinking it's me. And he's like, hey, and I go, what? And I look at him, and I stop. I go, me? He goes, get over here. And a real, some boot camp drill instructor attitude.
Is he younger than you?
And I go, but I'm already done, and I'm 10 feet from the door. Yes. So I go, what? I'm just like, what? And he goes, put the phone down. And I go, I go, all right. Now I'm like, what the fuck is this? He goes, give me a pie. And he goes, because I said so. And now I'm like, I might take out my phone and do it. I probably have 1 million views on TikTok if I film this interaction. You know what I mean? Because I watch all these cops pulling people over, and you see the guy who knows his rights and all that shit.
Oh.
So I'm just standing there. I go, for what? I go, for what? He goes, because I told you. And I'm like, what the fuck? But I'm thinking, this is just going to delay me if I talk to this guy. You know, he's going to look through the bag. So I open my thing. I give him the passport. He goes, where are you coming from? It's all very angry.
Very basic. Yeah, yeah.
And I
he's
go,
he's reprimanding you and trying to embarrass you at this point. And he's bored.
If he had been cool, I would have. If he had been cool and just been like, hey, man, can I see your passport? Like, okay. But the attitude. So I go, Cozumel. And he goes, alcohol or tobacco? And I go, because I'm thinking he might open my bag. So I go, yeah, I have some cigars. And he goes, oh, really? Where'd you get those? And I said, Tampa. I go, I had them. I brought them with me. I'm bringing them back. I didn't smoke them all. And he's looking at me. He goes, so you're bringing them back? I go,
he's running. Tampa. He's running out of shit to do, and he's fucking with you.
Yep. And he's already seen the passport, and there's nothing. I don't even know what he's looking at, just to see if I have one. I went through customs.
He's busting your balls for no reason. Because you had your phone. You're not supposed. There's signs saying don't use your. There's small signs. Don't use your cell phone. Well, what I'm saying is, but here's the thing: tons of people are on their phones. They use them. To track your bags. I've been in that particular area. My bag's not showing up. I pull my phone out. Track your bag. It says unloaded from plane in Miami. So,
yeah,
is someone going to give me a hard time for that?
It was unbelievable. And then I go, yeah. And then he hands me the passport back, and he goes, you can go. I'm like, so then I go, I can go. And he just gives me a look like, I'll fucking kill you. And I walked away. It's like, what was that? I don't know what that, because
he was reprimanding you for having your phone. But instead of saying, hey, you can't have your phone, put it away. Now give me your passport. Right. I want to double check it. And you go, okay, you can go. They get bored. Just like those guys, I watch those police videos too. And I'm 50-50 on the whole procedure. On the cop is bored or they're being provoked by some fucking asshole. So
I get it.
And I get caught up in it because I'm like, all right, they're both wrong here. And it's just bravado at that point. You know?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of phony lawyers out there who think they know their rights, and it's interesting to watch. But some cops are cool with it, and they just, stay cool. This guy, again, if you want to stop me and tell me don't be on the phone, okay. If you want to look at my passport, okay. But I don't need to be acting like I'm in boot camp here and that was the attitude. Immediately, boot camp came back to me. This guy thinks he's a fucking drill instructor because I said so. Who the fuck are you? Who are you? You're no one.
Now, this happened to you yesterday or?
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, see, here's what happened to me yesterday. I walked in Fort Lauderdale. I walked from the ship.
9 miles, we heard.
Well, 1.6 miles. On my way back, I'm on foot now. They're stopping cars at the gate. So there's a sidewalk, it's open. So a guy comes walking over in uniform, but he had his vest on. He said, hi, sir, can I see your passport, please? Where are you heading? I said, I'm going to the Celebrity Beyond. Here's my passport. He goes, okay, have a nice day. I walk another 40, 50 feet. There's a police car parked sideways with the lights constantly on. Cop behind the wheel. I walk, in front of his car. I walk 10 feet past him. He goes, oh, you, come here. He does the same thing. I'm like, I turn around. I'm like, first of all, anybody that's like 20 years younger than me treating me like that, in Japan, as you get older, you get more respect. I don't want to be treated like I'm a 20-year-old drunk college student. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I literally just showed the other guy
respect.
Well, that could be argued, but I just showed the other guy. He's in view of me showing my passport to the other guy.
Yes.
He's bored. He's sitting in his fucking car.
They're
making
pricks.
he's making his $42 an hour because it's an overtime thing for him, and he's bored.
Wow.
He's like, So he goes, "Where you headed?" I go to the ship. And I got a
Where do you
backpack
think
on.
I'm headed?
Yeah,
Where do you
I'm going to the
think?
cruise ship. Celebrity. I got my lines all down. I'm Celebrity Beyond. And he goes, "Let me see
Where
your
the fuck
passport."
do you
He looks
think?
at it. He goes, "Okay, have a nice trip."
Ugh.
It's just like, really? It's just, did the other guy
I
miss
can't
something?
take that.
Did
Yeah.
should I have taken off my turban?
Yeah. when I was leaving the ship yesterday, one of the security guys, I got my bag and my backpack. I'm standing there waiting, and this guy walks up. He goes, "Are you leaving?" I just pointed at my bags. Like, what? How do I? What do you mean? Am I leaving? Yes, I'm leaving. Yes, sir.
Walking up
I'm
to the
leaving.
counter in a hotel with your luggage.
Ugh.
You get up, the shuttle van pulls in front of the big glass doors. Doors open up. You get off. You go to the counter and they go, "Are you checking in?" "No, I was wondering if I could use the bathroom. I got to take a big shit." What the
That's
fuck?
like-
Am I fine? And you're reaching in. What about the other guy when you're getting on the ship? Have you had this happen? You got your luggage. You're walking down. You got your bags. You get like 50 feet away. They go, "You joining the ship today?" I go, "Yes." "I'm going to need to see your passport." I'm like sweating. I just walked 300 yards. I go, "Okay." He goes, "Passport." I go, I've said this before. "Can I put my bags down first so I can reach in my pocket and get my passport?" And they're like,
Not a gun,
stunned.
for God's sake.
They're stunned.
Yeah.
And I go, "Dude, I just traveled 20 hours to get here and I can't even put my bags down. You asked me for my passport twice." Not a word, because those people are cruise ship security and they're bored too. So they're just
on board too. They're like David Brenner's old act. Remember David Brenner? And people listening, if you're under 80, you probably don't know who he is, but his whole
He's
act
dead.
was that kind of thing. Stupid questions. He'd be sitting on a newspaper on the train, trying to sleep, and a guy called it. "You're reading that?" Then he'd get up, go, "Yeah," turn the page and sit back on it.
But,
you know.
Mm-hmm.
But David Brenner made a career of those kind of things, and that's people still to this day have to ask. I don't know why. I think they have to say something. Like, why would you ask that? Are you checking in? Are you joining the ship? It's yes, we're doing that. Yes. Hey, by the way, I'm looking at my little notes here. We lost one of the great football players of all time this last week. One of the best running backs ever to play. Hell of an athlete.
He was pretty incredible. He was also very good at other things. He had other talents. He did some comedies in the movies. He did some murdering. He did some murdering. He did. I'll tell you what, he did.
Wasn't that much, too.
No, he was the murdering thing. I thought he was a better murderer than a football player because he got away with it. He was a lousy a robber.
Thief. Yeah, lousy thief. Not a good thief, a hell of a football player, and a good murderer, no doubt. Yeah. He got away
excellent murderer. He was all that evidence, that trial of O.J. Simpson, and they couldn't get him because of technicalities, and they played the race card. And
Rodney King.
Yep.
It was payback. And even one of the jurors in the last 24 hours, she was doing an interview, came out and admitted, she goes, it was payback.
What about a lot of the black community were getting behind OJ because of the Rodney King thing? OJ left the black community far behind.
Of course.
He married a white woman. He had all white friends except for his driver, Al Cowling, maybe one or two others. But he was, a millionaire. He left it all. Did he do anything for the black community? I don't even know.
Nothing. He never wanted to be known as African American.
He wanted to separate himself because he beat the odds with his talent to become a legend, a living legend, superstar football player. But he passed from cancer. Did you were you aware that he had cancer?
I knew he was battling something because I follow him on Twitter and he makes videos and tweets them. And a month or two ago, he said he was like doing a take on Allen Iverson's practice, because in the media it said he was in hospice. So he was like, hospice. We're talking about hospice. I'm not in hospice. I'm doing good, and he looked pretty good. And then he had another one last week or 2 weeks ago where he looked thin. And then I guess it went downhill from there, and that was the end. But there's a great picture of Ahmad Rashad. Remember that guy? Football player, announcer. At his wedding, he married, I forget the woman's name. She played the wife on Cosby. Right. What was her name?
Alicia. I don't know.
Yeah. It's very good. But anyway, there's a picture, and Ahmad's two best men at his wedding was Bill Cosby and O.J. Simpson. It's like, whoops. That's almost
a murderer and a rapist
with Howard Cosell. It's like there's another great picture of Howard Cosell. Monday Night Football. It's Howard Cosell, Bruce Jenner, and O.J. Simpson. And it's like, someone should tell Cosell what this is going to look like in 20 years. Caitlin and a murderer. Yeah, wild.
Oh,
wild
yeah. Well,
shit,
Cosby
man,
was one of my comedic heroes, as you know. So that was,
yeah,
pretty rough.
A lot of people. I never got it though. But but then I got some. He was very nice to me in a little encounter, and I should tell that story if anyone's new, because
it's worth hearing.
Clip it. People enjoy these. I'll make it. Maybe we'll tighten it up in a little post. But early '90s, I was opening for the ESPY Awards, the opening comic, Radio City Music Hall, and it was a tough gig. Everyone's being seated, and you're up there doing jokes about.
You're doing cover time while they get settled.
Yeah. All sports, but and I had no skill. I was new, man. I was only 3 or 4 years in. I couldn't do any crowd work. I was just, here's my act. So I'm done. I'm sweating. John Goodman's the host. He's very nice. I have a couple of beers with him backstage. He's cool. He's like, have beer, just relax. And I'm sitting there having my beer, and I had to wear a tux. I had to rent a tux. So it's all open, and I'm just sweaty. And Bill Cosby is hanging around. He's over in the corner. He's going to present in a little bit. And then so Willie Nelson's on too. Willie Nelson and his band, they have all haystacks and whole farm look. And Willie ends, but they need to strike the set and clear it up for the next award.
Bring out Romas.
So the producer comes up to me and said, "Hey, we'd like you to go back out and do another 5." And I'm like, what? I don't know. What? I don't even have it, and I'm not going back out there. I bombed. And he goes, yeah, we need you. So he's sort of like pushing my shoulder, like, let's go. And Cosby sees this. He doesn't know what's happening, but he sees this. He doesn't like it. So he starts walking over. And he goes, what's going on? What's the problem? And they go, oh, nothing, Mr. Cosby. And I go, and I'm just sitting there like shell-shocked. And they go, what's going on? He's like, what's going on? And they go, we'd like him to go back out. We need 5 more minutes. And that's when Cosby puts his hands on my shoulder, goes, the boy has done his time. And they go, yeah, but we need him now. And he goes, the boy has done his time. And now another 30 seconds passes. So it's getting, and they go, Bill, one of the guys goes, Bill, not really your concern. We need him because the set's empty right now. And he goes, will you be paying the boy? And they go, he's been paid, Bill. Now they're all flying. He goes, no, the boy has done his time.
Wow.
And now it's too late. They go, oh, fuck it. Good, we're fine. And as I go, I'm about to go, hey, thank you. So he was already gone.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't want to hear anything from me. But he saw a situation where a comic was being taken advantage, which is ironic, taking advantage of when you got Cosby. But
and he did his time.
He saved my ass. Exactly.
But he was one of your heroes as well, just for that moment. It's a great story, actually.
For that moment, I mean, he really stepped. That was awesome. mean, I would have been out there because what do? You're a new comic. You don't know what, you're being told to go. I would have went out there literally and just stood there because I really didn't have any other material. I did all my material. I did 20 minutes worth of material in 6 minutes out there because it was just
when you're younger, you just go
and not even bombing. They're not even listening.
Right. You're just trying to get past.
They don't even know you're there. And it's Radio City. I look like a yeah. I mean, radio. It's ridiculous. I went from Friar Tuck's in Norfolk to Governor's, and then I'm on Radio City stage. Like, what am I doing here? I was lost. I'm in a tux. It was very bizarre. Came through.
Well, it's very similar to my story that I told you the last time as well. I was up there at the Apollo Theater. I was actually at Stand Up New York, and they called. We go, we need a comedian to cover the time in between the same thing, the same exact thing, the sets, blah, blah, blah. So they bring me up. I jump in a taxi. I get there. They bring me up. I go up, and it goes well. And I do 6 minutes. Same thing. I do. It goes, I'm young. I'm bringing out my best stuff. It goes well. I come off. They do the same thing. You got to go back out there because we're having technical issues and we got to get rid of the set up. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, well, I did my thing. They go, no, you got to go back up there. All of a sudden I'm surrounded by 3 production managers and whatnot. No, you got to go now. So I go back up there after having a good set considering the circumstances to eating my own cock for the next 6 minutes.
So you didn't have Dr. Cosby there to see.
No, I didn't have the Cosby. Wow.
That's like cruises too, where they want it, like you do well, say the first night, and then they ask for another show, and then they ask for another show. So by the end of the week, you're out of material. You look like a beginner, and people's attitude goes from that guy was great, he was good, to what happened? He wasn't good anymore. You know what I mean? They milk it. Everything in showbiz, they love to milk it, and it's that's the problem. You get exposed at the end.
Same thing here. I'm doing 6 shows in 7 days, 6 days really. They had me do 2 45s last night, family shows, same material. Ugh. They want me to do another 45 for the adult show tonight.
No,
it's an hour and a half. No. The first 2 days of their cruise, that's an hour and a half too much of Al Ducharme. And I'm my biggest fan, and I have confidence, but holy shit, I'm not.
I 100% agree.
I'm not Bill Burr. You know what I mean?
No, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like a lot of the ships they're trying to get welcome aboard, late night, and farewell, and that's wrong. I was told, that's not what we're paid to do. And this ship, 245, first of all, 45 family friendly on the first night of the cruise. I don't care if you are Bill Burr. I don't care if you're whoever.
No,
it's too long. That's too much.
I'm going to say this because I told I'm not some of our comedian friends who post got a standing ovation, blah 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 blah. But I will say it here: I joined mid cruise of a 12-day cruise, 14-day cruise. I was fresh meat. In a good way. They were dying for a comedian. It was so easy. Yeah. I did get my standing ovations, and it was unbelievable. But I said I knew coming back last night. Welcome aboard. The standing ovations is going to be a distant memory because they've traveled all day.
Yeah.
45 minutes. Oh, yeah. I should be doing 20 at most.
At most. It's supposed to be, the original idea was supposed to be a teaser for your late night. A little taste. You like this guy, he's good. We'll see him his real show later in the week.
So, yeah, to fill the seats in the theater. Because the theater is 800, 900 seats. Yeah.
You're not supposed to be the show on the first night and then have another show. It's bad. It's greedy. It's wrong. Let your agent know. Tell your agent you won't put up with that anymore.
Well, I'm going to make some changes. Definitely make some changes. I have to diversify a little bit more first. That's what I'm trying to do. I got too comfortable working with 2 cruise lines, and I've worked for 7 over the years, and I have to blanket it a little bit more and work for like 3 or 4 per year. So I can go, nope, I'm not taking that offer. Nope.
Yeah.
I get too
After
desperate, like
seeing,
fill up my calendar, fill up my calendar.
yeah. Well, after seeing that princess and hearing about Norwegian and these, it's just like I'm good with right now. I'm happy, knock on wood, with Royal, because these other cruise lines, man, it's like the crew area. I was in a cabin. It was a nice enough cabin, but they tendered in Cayman, and the tender is right under my window.
Yep.
So it's just vibrating and loud all day, all day. And hope Brian Nussbaum enjoyed that. If you're on Patreon, you know what I'm talking about. But Brian, that's what your $5 is getting you, buddy.
It's organic.
I hope you enjoyed it. That was well
Al's
worth
referring
it.
to me. I reached over, grabbed my napkin, and wiped my nose because I didn't take my allergy pill yet. So,
well, I don't want the audio only people even knowing what happened there. They don't even get to. I'm not even acknowledging what.
Well,
I'm
trying to entice them. You referenced it.
Yeah.
The audio people are
You're
going,
right.
What is he talking about? And then I told you what it
You're
was.
right.
And you're like, oh my God, the guy's wiping his runny nose. I got to join Patreon.
That's the way it works. People go, this guy wipes his runny nose. Give me what that Patreon name? 2 L's, 1 pod.
Wet meat
Big Al.
pasta.
The guy who was introducing me on Princess kept calling me Big Al, which I cannot. Who was Big Al? I started thinking, like, was there a guy in history who was a large man named Al?
I think
because
so.
Why is the name Al attached to big? Why do we have to live with this if your name is Al? This Big Al.
I still get a lot of that. Big Al, Big Al. Dave Russo uses it. It's an old school term. Big Al.
I'm 5'8", soaking wet. I'm not big. It's like,
well, they're talking about your penis. Sense. Take it as a compliment.
Well, I didn't know he knew. Now I'm flattered.
I'm like, bring it on, Big Al. That's right. Hello, ladies.
Ladies. Did you? By the way, I meant to ask. Did you see the eclipse? Were you anywhere at the eclipse of?
I was off the coast of the ABC Islands, Venezuela, just off the coast of Venezuela. There was there's a big cloud in front of the sun. And I took a picture of it. Oh,
yeah,
that was So I guess if I had glasses and I looked at it, I would have saw probably a slither of it. But
I didn't know. I'm dumb. I thought the glasses were to protect your eyes. I didn't think the glasses were to make you see it. I thought they were just
it's a filter. It's protection too. It's a filter so that you can stare at it and just see the image of the moon.
Yeah.
Passing in front of the sun.
Well, I didn't know that, and I didn't have glasses. And Kelly and I took our dog Teddy, and we went to the causeway, this huge bridge that connects Tampa and Clearwater, and we parked. And we walked Teddy on the causeway, and we got up to the top of the causeway, and we looked, and we were like, I don't see anything.
Oh yeah,
we couldn't see the
glasses.
So needed the glasses. So we got a nice walk in.
Now my wife Bernadette. She was somewhere and she went into like a diner or something, and some woman goes, go look at it. She goes, well, I don't have glasses. She goes, take my glasses and get out there. She goes, no, that's okay. She goes, no, I swear to God, go out there. You'll be amazed. And she goes, okay. So she put them on and she comes back and she goes, oh my God, that was amazing. Wow. I can't believe I was just going to like, let it go. She said, the moon, it was halfway across at that point.
Now I feel worse.
She said it was phenomenal. Yeah,
your story makes me feel worse now.
I was trying to do that.
Thank you.
I got to keep you in touch with reality.
We were up high. We're on the bridge.
Now, Teddy was ready I don't understand because you and Kelly appear to be, pretty bright people. I don't understand why you wouldn't.
We're not that.
I know
bright,
it's all a facade.
We're kind of dumb. I wish I was lying. We're not smart people. Shit. Anyway, hey, what do you take in this Shohei Ohtani, the gambling with the interpreter? Are you buying any of this, or you just go, come on?
Was he involved in it himself?
No, this is what I'm saying.
Are they trying to cover for him?
Yeah, the interpreter's falling on the sword and turned himself in. But I think there's a nice pile of dough waiting for him after 5 years of you know,
What is he going to be like in a
or whatever
white
he's going to be
collar?
sentenced
He'll do 2 years, released weekends
to.
at
Easy
home,
time and a
weekends with
nice
Bernie.
chunk back in Japan, you know.
Is that
There's
because
no
of
way,
the,
I mean,
is that the Japanese culture shaming? Is that why he's taking
I don't
the
know.
hit?
I just know the Japanese culture is gambling, so that's why.
All right, help me out with the names. The player for the Dodgers, how do you pronounce his name?
Otani.
Otani. And his interpreter, who's also Japanese, his name is
Yeah.
Shimani or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So they're saying there's $16 million of gambling debts.
Or more. It does now more.
Or more. Okay. And they're saying that the interpreter was stealing the money from he's an interpreter. He's an interpreter. How does he have access to his finances?
The interpreter was placing bets with a bookie and pulling money from Otani's account to cover them.
How does an interpreter have access?
That's right.
It's horseshit. I don't buy it.
Is. And I don't either.
I think Otani has a big gambling problem. He's not supposed to gamble like that as a baseball player, especially if he's betting on sports. What does that cover? What was the Pete Rose thing? Pete Rose was betting on minor league
baseball.
Everything but baseball.
Yeah.
Any minor league baseball?
I don't know about any baseball. Rose says no baseball, so I go with that. But it's interesting too. This guy, and he's got he still has an interpreter. He can't even try to learn English. I mean, at this point. Secondly, he's the face of baseball, so there's no way they're doing anything. There's been he did one 5-minute press conference 3 weeks ago. We haven't said a word.
How much is his contract? Because baseball has been losing viewership and fans for several years now.
It's like 400 or 5, I don't know, 800 million over 10 years.
Right. So it's the biggest baseball contract in the history of Major League Baseball.
He's the face of baseball. He pitches and he plays the outfield.
Right.
He hits.
He's like the Babe Ruth, the Japanese modern day Babe Ruth, because Babe Ruth was a pitcher and a hitter.
Babe Ruth. Yes.
Woof. Yeah. So why can't they just say he gambled and he should be expelled, suspended? You can't, because there's billions of dollars tied up in viewership money. So they're going to.
And these commissioners.
Who came up with the interpreter? The accountants were like, no, I'm not taking the hit for this. I have a family.
Well,
how did they get the interpreter? They said, listen, you're going to be a very wealthy person, but you got to go to prison for 5 years.
Yeah, probably. I don't know any details of that, but there's a tweet someone put out. It was a text to the interpreter from a bookie, and the bookie's texting him saying, hey, I see your boss there walking his dog. Now you got to pay. Let's go. Or basically hinting, we'll fucking take out Otani's knees if we don't get some dough here. So that one kind of helps the interpreter in a sense of, it wasn't Otani betting, it was the interpreter. But there's no way Otani didn't know the money was being paid. There's just no way. If I send you money or you send me, there's like an email.
Are we talking about 20 million? Yeah, but how does the guy get this kind of money to begin with? It's Otani. He's a gambler. He said they can't trace it to you. So why does this guy, the interpreter, not as accountants, not as lawyers, have access to millions of dollars to gamble or to pay off gambling debts?
He would not have.
You can't walk up to a bookie and say, I bet $1 million on this game. Do you have it?
Right.
Do you have $1 million?
No, but my boss.
You can't. I can't walk up to someone and go, I want to put $5 million on the Tyson fight.
Right.
Mike Tyson.
Right. But if you said you were Otani's interpreter and his best friend.
No, it's like, no. He said, well, you got to show proof of funds somehow. Someone showed. He said, here's my account. It's got this much money on it. And they went, okay.
I mean, I think
because he has to put the money up front. He's got to put hundreds of thousands of dollars up front.
Happened.
Yes.
What kills me is everyone knows what happened, and there's no follow up. Nobody cares. There's no press conferences. Baseball's just covering this. So when it's the interpreter, go away.
Not to make it political, but when Trump comes out and says fake news and it's rigged, and we laugh at him. He sounds ridiculous.
No,
but now, we're like I guess everything.
I'm not
world.
I'm certainly
is
not a
rigged.
Trump. I'm not a Trump guy, but a couple of his things that he's been said in the last few years, where we laughed at, you look at now and you go, you might be right on that. Actually,
The same thing. The same thing with the vaccine and wahoo.
He might and making fun of Fauci, and we're all like, hey, that's a scientist. No, that guy should be buried under the jail. Fuck him.
Fauci wanted to be recognized as this CDC disease-controlled guru for the rest of time. And his ego got in the way. And they funded that lab. And
he's been a bad guy for a long time.
Yeah.
Do a Google of Dr. Fauci, and there's a lot of shit in there. You know. And Trump was right, and Trump didn't like him from the beginning and wouldn't even acknowledge him in the president. And he was right.
And I fell for the whole thing. Wow. Fauci, Fauci doing those press conferences. Yeah. I'm like, wow, Trump should just cut him some slack. What is he doing? But now I'm like, well, there was something behind it. There was. I mean, don't get me wrong. January 6th, the incitement and all that was crazy to incite.
But a con man spotted a con man.
Yeah.
Trump spotted Fauci, and he knew. He was like, a bullshitter. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. He saw him. He's like, I know what you are.
If anybody gets this deep into it, we're going to cause a stir with our politicals. It became political, but my point being, the baseball analogy and comparison is like everywhere, every bank, every insurance company, every airline, cruise line, there's always a conflict of interest. Yeah, there's issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. There are issues. No doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Are we wrapping this sucker up? All right. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Brian, again. We have a few more people that have joined.
That's why people need to join our Patreon. You join these other Patreons, no acknowledgement. You go into a mix. You join ours, we will fucking talk about you. We will mention your name multiple times. We have a nice tight group of people. It's not too big, where we still get we can still acknowledge each and every new Patreon member.
There we go. It's all rigged.
That's it. Fake news. Fake pod. Peace.
So long, man. Have a good trip.
You.
Iceberg, dead ahead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series. This is the 2 Al's 1 Pod podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
What?
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Go to patreon.com/the2dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.